Yeah, I'll take a pair of sevens. Oh, gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta get this thing off. It's driving me crazy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful show tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have a very special show for you, of course. Not only are we being broadcast live in a remote functionality, but I have a serious issue to discuss. For many years, I've been known as a drinker, gambler, womanizer, anarchist, and incompetent pet store employee. My life was a cornucopia of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and it was exhausting, believe me. But my downfall in life was not my fault. It was those evil executives at the network, those producers, and the heads of my fan club. They were the real demons that sent my life spiraling out of control and into the abyss of all the drugs, liquor, loose women, and endless Sunday afternoons at the racetrack. My actions were reprehensible, but I am now a changed man. And I intend to start a new life, a new chapter in my life, that is. Here's how it all started. On a deep acid trip in the forests of Southern Oregon, I saw the Bigfoot, and it was God. Believe me. What I thought was going to be a relaxing weekend of casual drug use, nonchalant orgies, turned into a hairy nightmare, and then a spiritual enlightenment. Through hell, I found God. From today forward, ladies and gentlemen, I will no longer drink, gamble, fornicate, or talk old ladies out of their Social Security checks. But wait a minute, let me think about that. Okay, I agree to everything except the Social Security scandal. I might need that money if this show doesn't work out. Anyway, tonight I'd like to introduce my guests, who are a grouping of some of the finest professionals the world has ever seen. And they'd like to advise me on issues of great spiritual significance and guide us on a humble journey. My first guest is Professor Emeritus of Midwest Native American Studies at the Eastern University of West Virginia, and an expert on nail fungus removal, the very distinguished Robert Rambouchet. Professor?
Hello, excuse me.
That crazy.
Hello, Stevie D. This is Dr. Professor Rob Rambouchet, otherwise known as Disco Rob Bob, and coming at you.
You like the disco?
Yeah, what the heck? Hey, man, when you're in quarantine, you got to keep yourself busy.
Right.
And
thanks.
Yeah,
we'll be
right.
Here.
I'm glad to be here. Now, hopefully, I'll help you out with that whole toe fungal thing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Professor. Next, I'd like to introduce a very special dignitary, all the way from somewhere very east, yet also very west, former advisor to Indira Gandhi and a specialist on South Asian cuisine, Miss Grace Patel.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste is, after all, the hug in the pandemic times. My Bigfoot's Grace. My name is Gracie Patel. My friends call me Gray because they find me a bit shady. And also, as you can tell, my name is a bit long, like Gracy. Gray is cuter.
Bingo.
Indeed an East-West mix. In India, I did Eastern things like celebrate Halloween. And after moving to the West as a chef, I do Western things like cook with pink Himalayan salt.
Wonderful. Thank you, Grace. We'll be back to talk to you soon. Finally, someone who is one of my greatest fans since the origin of sliced pita bread, former political strategist for the Crump campaign, Mr. Sam Pepperdino. Sam?
Thank you, CVD. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
I got to say that it's nice to have an opportunity to, for someone to finally hear about the 7-Eleven New York Giants Pat Sajak cabal, which, let's face it, that not enough people know about.
We'll be back to talk to you about that in just a minute. I'm excited that all of you are here with us tonight, and I can't wait to hear about all your great recipes for banana bread. We'll be right back after we view these terrible excuses for commercials that we shot several months ago, but no one would let us air. Talk to you soon. Be back in a minute.
Do not attempt to adjust your electronic devices. I am Dr. Nucleon, and they are under my control. Your inferior technology allows me to interrupt your broadcasts. People of the world, I demand $1 quadrillion in Krugerrants. If my demands are not met, I will drop this vial of deadly G9 nerve gas into a populated area. 1 millisecond of exposure to G9 nerve gas will render a city with the population of Grand Rapids entirely without motherfucker.
Have you ever been shot in the leg only to have the owner of the bullet claim you appropriated from him? Slipped on a hovercraft at the same time its ownership was being transferred, thus neglecting you the settlement that you deserve. Ever been in a bar fight soon after you had a new arm attached, an arm once belonging to someone who had just died, and they are holding you responsible for the accidental death committed by the possessed zombie arm? Are you involved in a legal predicament so strange, so macabre, so bizarre that no other lawyer will even let you into their office? Then call the legal offices of Betty Tagliani. I'll get you the settlement you deserve, no matter how outlandish, unbelievable, or even extraterrestrial it is.
I fell on a train crossing the border between two different countries. On top of that, the train company went bankrupt at the same time, but I got injured. Buddy Tagliani got me my settlement.
Hey, what are the odds a decommissioned dirigible would break away from its mooring only to find its way to the middle of international waters, right where I just happened to be, standing? I got $7,500. I lost a toe and a kneecap, but still, I got $7,500. So thanks, Buddy Tagliani.
As undeserving as this guy is, he called the law office of Buddy Tagliani and won. After legal fees, court filings, and unpredictable invented ancillary expenses, he really ended up with only about $47. But we won and proved them wrong. Call the law office of Buddy Tagliani. I'm prepared to believe you.
And we're back. Weren't those great? Well, maybe not. Anyway, I'd like to speak to my guests here tonight, and they're going to be informing us of some very, very important information. We'd first like to talk to Mr. Sam Pepperdino, who's of the Frump Political Strategist Campaign, something or another, right, Mr. Frump? Or Crump?
Yes.
Or what's your name?
Sam Pepperdino.
Oh, right. How are you?
I am well, thank you. I am no longer with the Frump campaign. I've moved on due to their claim that my positions were too controversial. But you know, it's nothing I'm not used to. I've always been one to court controversy, as you know, Mr. Stevie. You were there when you and I were protesting that the state was not clothing animals. We have animals walking around naked, and you joined me in that campaign. And we did not succeed, and we did have eggs thrown at us by small children and Boy Scouts, but that did not stop us from fighting the righteous fight.
Right. Now, Mr. Pepperdino, or if you don't mind me calling you Sam because we know each other, why does the Rump campaign fear you so much?
Well, yeah, it's funny you should mention that. A couple of things I discovered. Now, if you take out the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth letter of Donald and the first and fifth letter of Trump, you get do Brum. That is clearly the White House promoting drinking and, well, let's just say it, it's affecting our kids. It's all about kids. And they knew I was on. I also discovered the 7-Eleven New York Giants Pat Sajak controversy that, of course, nobody wants to talk about. And they said, oh, you're too nuts for us. I said, I'm too nuts for you guys, and you're booting me out? So, you know, let us spread the word.
Let me ask you this hypothetical question, and maybe it's not hypothetical, maybe it's realistic. How would the Rump campaign feel about having Pee Wee Herman as a vice presidential candidate?
Well, I think they're going to stick with the current vice president, mainly because, see, again, they don't want you to know this, but he's a cyborg android that's been programmed by Pat Sajak and 7-Eleven. The two are working together. I mean,
I heard it with Sasquatch. This was very serious.
Sasquatch? What am I? Think I'm nuts or something? What is a Sasquatch?
Yeah, Sasquatch, Pence, it's all the same thing. Anyway, well, Sam, I'd like to hear more from you, and we will hear more from you. Right now, I'd like to talk to my next guest, who is Professor Ron Boucher. And Ron Boucher, Professor, you've got some very interesting concepts here about Midwest Native American culture, how it relate to spirituality, and also nail fungus removal. And I'm dying to hear about that. So, Professor, what's going on with you these days?
Absolutely, Steve. As well known that I am part of the Association for the appropriation, promotion of registered indigenous cultures, otherwise known as AAPRIC. And so what we are is we're a group of well-meaning but misinformed and disingenuous people, a group of people who believe that the best way to promote Native cultures is to have the representation of those Native cultures be a non-Native person. And that because we found historically that non-Native people, or for a better word, white people, respond more positively to the Native concerns when they're presented to them through the lens and the eyes of a white person. That's why Little Big Man and Dances with Wolves work so well. It's because they have that representation. They see Native Americans through their eyes. Actually, they actually see themselves. But
Fascinating.
That's a thing.
Now, Professor, is it true that the Midwest Native Americans needed no underarm deodorant?
That is true. That is true.
Amazing.
Because
how did they do that?
Because they used the herbs and the available plants, and they were very clean. They cleaned themselves, every day, so they were very clean.
You mean like dogs
and
and cats?
Didn't
They
need
lick
a
each
lot of
other.
perfume. What? Excuse me?
Like dogs and cats, like Sasquatch. They lick each other. Typical Sasquatch don't clean each other's
Actually,
underarms.
the licking of each other and the picking of each things,
Yeah.
that actually came from the Europeans, because they were living in squalor. And
okay.
but yeah.
Guess I got that wrong.
It's always the European.
That I am the doctor.
Now, let me ask you this. Also, I heard this on another talk show that the Midwest Native Americans were very familiar with multi-fuel injection systems.
Yes, they were. About
Amazing.
Methane. They were familiar with methane, because
I've taken a lot of
most
drugs.
people are familiar with methane, but they actually used it as a cooking fuel.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
And I think when they brought the horses, the Europeans brought the horses to America. They fed them the oats, and the oats, that by using the oats they could produce more methane producing manure. So
I've been around some of those horses. But we're going to talk more with Professor Rob Boucher here in a minute. Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.
I'd like to hear from our wonderful Gracie. Do they call you Grace or Gracie?
Anything is fine.
Wonderful. Welcome to the show again. And what's going on with the whole Indira Gandhi? Was there a scandal, or tell me more about that? That sounds fascinating.
Indira and I were childhood friends. We spent so many of our childhood golden years, dancing and frolicking and cooking. And I was her advisor. And, I really can't talk more about the scandal. She was my friend, and, she was kind of my foe too at times. So she was kind of my frenemy, if you know what I mean. So I can neither confirm nor deny the scandals.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious, since you knew her so well, how do you think Miss Gandhi would have felt about me becoming a Hungarian rabbit breeder?
Hungarian rabbit breeder. So Mrs. Gandhi, she was very worldly wise, and she was very ambitious herself. She was the first woman president of the country, and the first of many sorts. So I think she would have been very encouraging. Although, what does that really mean? What does a Hungarian rabbit breeder do?
I have no idea. I just thought I'd ask the question. Not that it wasn't important, by the way.
The rabbits like banana bread? Maybe I can give you some advice. I don't know what Mrs. Gandhi's advice would be, but you can have my East-West banana bread recipe, which might help the rabbits reveal their true nature sooner.
That's very fascinating, and I'd like to talk to you more about that South Asian cuisine. Some people say that some of that, the snacks and the cuisine are great for the male libido. Would that help me in any way?
Yes, I think so. I mean, there is nothing like too much of that, you know. So yeah,
Never can have too much.
our herbs are very, very powerful. So
Ooh,
yeah, I mean,
that's powerful. All that power makes me a little bit too hot under the collar. Gracie, we're going to come back to you in just a moment. But ladies and gentlemen, to think that if it weren't for the cute, hairy beast, Sasquatch, none of this would be possible right now. Also, we're being viewed tonight in the countries of Madagascar, southern Lithuania, northern Greenland, and a boatload of illegal garment workers off the coast of the Falkland Islands with their iPhones. So a lot of people are watching us, and really important. Anyway, we'll be right back after this next set of commercials. We're going to find out more from these three dignitaries. Thank you.
Salutations, followers. It is time for yet another Brahmin Bromide with Yogini, your spiritual guide through today's challenges. Today, I received a letter from a follower who was so moved by my teachings that she felt compelled to reach out to me for a sense of closure. Dear Yogini, thank you for making time to send me a one-sentence statement on the struggles of my life. I regret to inform you that your suggestion of burning sage and answering the phone in my office by saying Nam Yo Renge Kyo did not result in the prediction of the chi force from the planet correcting all imbalances between me and my boss. In fact, he felt that burning incense and playing Ravi Shankar music was inappropriate for a US Customs office in Whitefish, Montana. He fired me, and I don't know what to do. Sincerely, no room for food. Dear No Room for Food, which by the way is an adorable name. See this as a gift, a chance to remove yourself from the mundane drudgery of a secure government job for life, for the opportunity of working in the fulfilling environment of an Amazon warehouse with a 6-month contract with a non-zero chance of renewal. Embrace it as you would a cold gust of wind unexpectedly blasting your face as you exit your warm home.
I am Dr. Nucleon. As an international supervillain, I need to eat a hearty meal so that I have the energy for my dream of global domination. That's why the only restaurant I don't threaten is Luigi's Italian restaurant in Pacifica, California. Their rigatoni gives me the stamina to destroy international communication networks and church bake sales. Luigi, you are safe from my tyranny. And by the way, Luigi, I'll be there at 5 tonight for those killer meatballs. Hooah!
What would the Rockefellers do? Oh, and we're back. Great commercials, ladies and gentlemen. Only the best for you here on Special Moments with Stevie D. We're back. We'd like to talk to Gracie Patel again. Got some great ideas for banana bread and South Asian cuisine. Gracie, please. What's the latest thing you've been cooking?
Banana bread.
Oh,
yeah.
Can't wait to see. What's your recipe for it?
You know, the recipe is really simple. You just skip the banana and skip the bread, because I don't like letter B. Whenever I used to get B in school, my mom used to make me eat banana bread. And I hate the smell of banana.
Oh.
And I'm allergic to gluten.
Oh. That's
so
bad.
Let's just leave the calories and the carbs out and just take in something fresh. And what can be more fresh than air?
Oh,
so
yeah.
You replace all the ingredients by fresh air.
That's wonderful. Now, have you ever, like, when you cook, do you ever just strip naked, go outside, and just be naked in the air?
What sort of a question is that, Stevie D? Anyway, let me tell you a Bigfoot story, since we've been talking so much about Bigfoot.
Okay.
So, Bigfoot wanders into a Vietnamese nail spa, and the lady says, Honey, why are your nails so small when your foot's so big? Bigfoot says, it used to be big, but then the illegal immigrants came and they took my nail as medicine and sold it in the gray market. The grace market. The lady says, oh, honey, I help you because you look so lost. Usually $12. For you, I do $11.99. Bigfoot says, I don't have money, but I have so much hair. The lady says, ha ha ha, what do I do with your hair, Bigfoot? Hair today, gone tomorrow. Bigfoot looks around. What is that green thing growing in your kitchen? Lady says, green? Oh, yeah. It's Kessoon. Very powerful. You like Kessoon? Bigfoot says, are you joking with me, little lady? Give me the Kessoon. And then he storms out. Fast forward 2 hours. Good news. Kessoon has magic. Kessoon brings back Bigfoot's toenails. Bad news. Kessoon has voodoo. The toe foot fell off. Moral of the story, if you are Bigfoot, do not walk into a nail spa.
Very interesting. Thank you for that. Enlightening too. Now, Gracie, let me ask you this. You know Indira Gandhi, you knew her, you were close with her. I'm curious, did she trim, pull, or wax her nose hairs?
Whatever you like, Stevie, she do for you. I
Wow.
learned that from the nail spa.
Unbelievable. All this, that's just unbelievable. I just can't imagine anybody. And how would this affect my stock portfolio?
It would make it better.
It would.
Yes. And especially
Okay.
if you apply Kessoon like Bigfoot did, because clearly you didn't get the moral of the story.
Oh, I did. I got the moral. I thought it was a wonderful moral. And yeah. But let me ask you this. Little Joe of Bonanza, what would he say?
Whatever you like, he do for you.
Thank you, Gracie. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to now talk to Professor Rambouchet. Professor, are you there, Professor?
It's not me, it's me, CBD, Basura. Remember me? The doctor had to go. So he told me to come in because you are having some problems. So you remember me, CBD? I was on your show before. Oh no, that's right. You were some blimp accident or something. But you know what? You're looking fabulous, CBD. That blimp got the worst of that accident, didn't it? Well, the doctor says that you are having problems with your computadora personal, your personal computer. It got the coronavirus. That's what I heard. It's been touched with this. So
yeah, a lot of touching going on over here, that's for sure.
Okay, well,
not that kind of touching. Not that kind of touching.
Oh, that's your fault because you should extend yourself and have a little bit more touching and feeling.
But I do my touching behind closed doors.
Oh yeah, close the doors because some people they don't understand. I'll just go there. But I heard that you got the virus and that it infected your computadora and it converted your hard disk into a floppy disk. So that's not good, But
floppy, all right.
I have the perfect remedy for you. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay, what it is like in the Latinx community, I am known as Brujekis and the Curandekis. So I know all about the herbs and everything. So what you do is you make a big pot of elote. Do you know what elote is, mijo? Do you know what elote is?
I'm not sure. I'm a church-going boy.
It's like oatmeal, but it's different. So it's got the cornmeal and the chocolate and the cinnamon, the azúcar, and what you do is you make a big bowl of it. You make a big bowl of it and you make it really hot, and then you add some chiles to it. Get a little spice in your life, mijo.
Yeah.
So you add your chili and you get it real hot and you take it and you drink a cup of it, and then with the rest of it, you rub it all over your body. You rub it all over your body and into every nook and cranny.
Oh, that'd be good for my sinuses.
Every nook and cranny, and then make sure you cover your nether regions with it, because in your case, they're called the nether regions because they're regions that we never want to see again. So, well, this remedy may not cure your virus, but it'll make your skin so it's so shiny and translucent. It'd be beautiful. So do
Thank
you
you.
think I
Thank
helped
you,
you out,
Arturo.
Stevie?
Wonderful.
I help you
Say
out.
hello
I know.
or goodbye to Professor Rob.
I'm spinning now, Stevie D. I'm spinning for
Oh,
you.
must be some bad acid in the house. Thank you. Sam, I'd like to
Yes.
talk to you a bit more about that rump campaign that you were
Absolutely.
fired. Were you fired from the rump campaign?
They said fired. I quit. You know, they said you can't fire me. I quit. And I said, you can't fire me. I quit. And they said, you can't quit. I fired. And then I got escorted out. But you know, it's just one of those things that you don't expect the lizard pedophile people to infiltrate the White House such as they have, but they have. And so I think America needs to take this seriously. But the most important thing I learned, which came to me in a vision in the middle of the night, and this will change your life. And then you
What?
forever.
What?
Cement mixers.
What? Hello?
The Canadian Agriculture Report of
Sam.
1965.
Sam,
I think that says it all.
you hear him? I can't hear him.
Yeah.
Must be the transmission.
Did you not get that?
No, but Sam, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Were either of your parents born on another planet from outer space?
Well, you know, it's funny. I should think that. I've always felt a little different. You know, when I was a kid in school, other kids would, you know, push me into lockers, and I thought it must be because I'm better than them, and in some ways I feel I'm more human than most people. So I would say it's not beyond the realm of reason.
Great. Now, another question for you.
Please, no math.
No math. I promise you, no math. You won't have to figure anything out. Do people avoid you because of your horrible aroma, or do they just hate your guts?
It's got to be the aroma. You know, I was there was a little old lady, a nun, that was having trouble crossing the street, and I helped her, and she pepper sprayed me. So, you know, I mean, what does that tell you? So it's them. It's not me.
Wonderful. That's great. And
Wonderful?
Sam, I'm sorry. No, I meant it's wonderful that they hate you. It's bad for you, I think.
Yeah, but
But
you know,
anyway-
I've never been one to court popularity.
Yeah, I know that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're about out of time tonight, but I really want to thank the members of the
Beware,
staff of
Mr.
our
Rogers.
offshore recording
Beware, Mr.
studio.
Rogers.
I'd like to thank my guests tonight, all three of them. And of course, I'd like to thank my dear mother, who is home nursing a bad tooth. Mom, if you're watching, stay out of the
Stevie D! Is this Stevie D's show?
No, I don't know who that
This is Hamasami.
We'll see you
It's
next time on
Hamasami.
Special
My
Moments
granddaughter's
with
teaching me how to.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I heard you having
Please
problems.
disregard anything disrespectful, unprofessional, unethical, immoral, or
I'm gonna take you down, Stevie D.
I don't
If
like.
it's not the virus, it's gonna be me, Stevie D. It's
no.
gonna be me.
All right, I think we're signing off now. Thank you very much. See you next time. Thank you.